guys, welcome back to my channel and to a brand new reading vlog. I hope you're doing well. It's been a little while. First of all, I should probably tell you about the changes that I've made to my channel. This channel's gonna be changing it up a bit. I decided to start a blog. It's been something I wanted to do for a very long time and just kept stopping myself because I didn't have faith in myself, basically. But I finally started a vlog, and that is where my wrap-ups, my TBRs, my book reviews are gonna be. And on here, I might do those things occasionally, but for here I mostly plan on doing tags, challenges, vlogs, because I really like making vlogs. I'm not very good at it, but I really like making vlogs. So I want to keep doing that on here, but I wanted to, when I was talking about books, I struggle I really struggle with my speech. I actually have a speech impediment where I stutter. And so I found YouTube, as much as it is very helpful for that, I also find it very difficult when I'm talking about books to say everything I want to say because I'm too busy thinking about how I'm saying it. So with book reviews and things like that, I've decided that over there is a great place for that. I've been really enjoying it so far. I've only uploaded my May TBR, but I've pre-written a bunch of blog posts. So my May TBR is over there right now. If you're interested in what I want to be reading this month, you'll see some of them in this. Or if you want to see any of my April wrap-up, that will be on there tomorrow, which is before you've seen this, so I will put it in the description. It would mean the world if you check it out. Thank you so much. I hope you don't mind the change. I thought it was best for everybody because I could actually say the things I wanted to say. But getting into the actual video, it is May 2nd, so we are just into a new month, and April sucked for me reading wise. Last year it was my best reading month with me reading 30 books in 30 days unintentionally. This year I read 9, and honestly most of those were in the last few days. I really struggled. But yesterday I read 2 books, so clearly the slump has gone. I want to talk through those 2 books actually, if you don't mind. Firstly, I read The Salt Path by Raynor Winn. What I didn't realise until I read the author note right at the end was that this was a memoir. I don't know how I didn't know that. I haven't really heard much about it, and it's not my usual thing at all. Like, I picked up a bunch of books the other day and I'll show you them in a second because I think I'm going to choose from them next. And I just picked up a bunch of stuff and none of it was what I would usually read ever. And I really enjoyed this book. I gave it a 4 stars. So what we are following Ray and her husband Moth as they lose everything. They lose this court case and lose their home, lose their business, lose their money, and they are stuck. They are homeless. They're receiving barely any help. So they decide to walk the coastal path in England from Minehead to Land's End and then back up to Poole. I may as well just show you that one. If you're from Britain, you might know it. And they decided to walk that, which is 630 miles, and we just follow their journey walking this trip. Moth has a terminal illness, and so it's kind of like nothing left to lose kind of deal, and we see his progression through this terminal illness. It was like a heart-wrenching book, but I was like 100 pages in and I was like, this is going to be a 5-star read for me. It ended up not being. It was 4 stars. It got a little repetitive. Like, it makes more sense now that I know it's a memoir. I was like, where is the like explanation of where you are? Where is the beautiful scenery? But if you're writing a memoir, I suppose you wouldn't really spend time writing about the scenery. And it is very much on their money struggles, which put into perspective a lot of stuff in my own life. I really enjoyed this book. It really put things in perspective. I really enjoyed the genre. I don't read nonfiction, so I didn't even know I was reading a nonfiction, which was just proof of how good this was written, to be honest. Very pleased. If you haven't picked this up, go pick it up. I picked it up in Tesco. I think it was £5. It was also in the 2 for £9 sale. And then the next book that I read was Saga Volume 1. I did not expect to like this. Like, I did and I didn't. I was like, everybody loves this, everybody talks about it, but if you know me, I don't do sci-fi. And this is like sci-fi fantasy blend. I'm not gonna act like I wasn't a little bit confused at times, but I ended up giving this a 3.5. I really liked it. I thought the art style was stunning. I didn't like how, I don't feel like it was fleshed out enough to get any higher than a 3.5 for me personally. I wanted more. But overall, very enjoyable. I'm very interested to see where this goes. I will definitely be picking up future volumes. A critique I do have, and I'm not going to spoil anything, so I'm going to talk quite vaguely, but if you've read the book, you'll know what I mean. There's this part that we are on the island or world of Sextillion, which is, as it sounds, a world of sex. This is a very adult graphic novel. Do not pick it up if you're under 18. There is a part that involves something I don't like. I just didn't like it. And if you've read it, you'll know. I'm sorry about being so vague. The whole point of it was vile. It was disgusting. But the whole point of it was a plot device to show that our bad guy has a good side. And I'm sorry, I just think, number one, that's cheap writing. If you can't show that in another way, maybe your talents weren't where you thought they were. But second of all, you just don't put that in there. It ruined my entire, experience. I wasn't enjoying it after that point. I was kind of horrified. And I don't care if anyone says, it just wasn't necessary. And I hope that in future volumes this gets rectified, because I was literally disgusted afterwards, especially as the situation never ended, so you know that this person is still in that situation. I'm so sorry for the vagueness. If you hate on me, that's fine. I've still loved it. I still thought it was really, really good. I just can't get on board with that. It just felt like a terrible plot device to show something that could have been shown by a story instead. Controversial opinion. I'm sorry. If you love it, I understand why. Me too. Can't wait to read the second volume, but I do have that critique. No, I don't know what I'm going to read next. That was 7 minutes of me rambling. So sorry. I'm going to cut that down. But I went shopping to Tesco late at night and I picked up The Salt Path. That was one of the things I picked up. I also picked up these 3 books. So I picked up The Night Swim by Megan Goldin. I'm a little bit torn on this because it sounds so good and everybody talks about it, but I don't like reading about rape. It's something that just really triggers me. I just don't like it at all. But I'm going in aware that this is a real life crime case about rape. So I think as I'm going in aware of it, it's going to be hard to read, but I'm not going to be taken by surprise. I got Exciting Times by Louise Dolan. I almost got this when it came out in hardback because after I read Normal People, I went looking for books like that because I really enjoyed that book, but it was really weird. And people said this one was the similar kind of vibe, so I picked this up now that it's in paperback, hoping I will like this as much as I liked Normal People, and that it's just as weird. I like a weird book. And then the final one I got is The Vanishing Half by Brit Bennett. Everybody and their mother is talking about this right now. I actually own The Mothers by Brit Bennett, but I haven't read it yet. So I really shouldn't have bought another one until I know if I like her writing style or not, but more for me. I'm torn on whether I want to pick up one of those now before my motivation leaves, because whenever I get a new book, I'm all excited about reading it, and then my motivation leaves me and I never want to read them again. So I want to read these. Tomorrow I am starting a buddy read with Connor for The Wicked King. I'm reading that via audio and reading because I'm tabbing it. And when I'm tabbing, if I don't listen to an audiobook, it takes me forever because I position my tabs so perfectly so that they're all the same width, width outwards, sticking out of the book. So I have to listen to the audiobook at the same time to keep going with the story or it'll take me forever. So I'm really excited about starting that tomorrow because I just finished my Cruel Prince reread and I'm obsessed. It is a reread for me. I've read The Wicked King before. I gave it 5 stars last year. I cannot believe how long I've been talking. I need to shut up. But I'm not sure what else I'm going to be reading next. I'll just let you know when I've worked it out. My TBR, as I said, is in a blog post. You can see it down below. But I'm kind of tempted to try and get through all of my limited edition tempted to get through all my books. Books, but I can't. You know what I'm trying to say. You know what I'm trying to say. Books. Thank you. But yeah, I'm going to stop nattering your year off. It's been ages. I'll let you know when I've picked something else up to read. It is now Monday. I did film the update yesterday that I wanted to film, but then I've deleted it because I really hated it. Typical me. So yesterday, as I said, no, I didn't say because I've deleted the clip, but as you might have seen from the B-roll, I started Bunny by Mona Awad, and I got to page 124, so not very far, but you know, a decent chunk. Is this book okay? Like, I feel like I'm on an acid trip reading this. Like, I have no idea what's going on. It's so weird. I knew it was going to be weird, but a lot of people compare this to Catherine House. This makes Catherine House look normal. The disrespect. This makes Catherine House look normal. So if you've read Catherine House, that'll give you a concept of how weird this is. So strange. I then wanted to clean my room, so I picked up the audiobook of Air of Fire, the next in the Throne of Glass series. I'm so excited to be back into that. Just during cleaning, I listened to 145 pages. There's a new POV in it that I'm really not enjoying. I don't want to say who it is because spoilers, but it's someone, and I'm just not enjoying that POV. But apart from that, it's going well. And then this morning, me and Connor finally started our buddy read of The Wicked King by Holly Black, and I got to page 70 this morning. It is now, I think, 1 o'clock, or maybe just past, so I have a full day of planning to read ahead. So I've accidentally lost a bunch of footage for this vlog. I cannot find it, and I don't know what I've updated you on and what I haven't. We're gonna redo the updates. I have made it to page 188 of Bunny. I'm really not a fan of this, if I'm honest. Like, I knew it was gonna be weird, but I thought like Catherine House weird. This is just like, I'm on acid while reading it. I have no idea what's going on. I was going to DNF it, but then Catherine, my friend, commented on my update on Goodreads and was like, oh my god, this book has stuck with me after a year. So I had a look at her review and it was 5 stars. Which makes me just want to continue. They keep calling each other Bunny. And like at the beginning, they were like saying like Bunny Kira, like the name next to it. Now they're just Bunny, Bunny, Bunny. And the person we're following, the protagonist, refers to themselves as we. So there's clearly something going on in there that they're all connected. And it's too much. I'm getting a headache after reading 10 pages of it. Like, I just don't get it. So I'm not in love. But I am thinking I'm going to finish it at this point because, you know, I'm so far in. But like, it's a chore to read that because I'm baffled. I'm so confused. I haven't made any progress on The Wicked King, I don't think. I'm still on page 71. I just need to sit down and actually do it. I'm just putting it off because I don't want to annotate right now. But yeah, no update there. I popped to the library yesterday to return some books, and I ended up picking up The Castaways by Lucy Clark. This was a book that Connor read not too long ago, and I think he really enjoyed it, so I wanted to pick it up. I got to page 66. It's not exactly what I expected. I just hit myself in the face. I didn't realise we were going to be following 2 sisters. One is the person who gets lost on this plane, and the plane is never found. And the other one is the sister who's at home, who was supposed to be on the plane with her, trying to like solve what happened. And we're getting more of Erin, the sister at home right now, which is not what I want. I want a survival story, and I don't think we're gonna get it. I don't know how this is gonna be, but I am gonna continue it. Like, I'm enjoying it enough. I am not very far in, as I said, but it's an easy read. Thrillers are always really quick and easy, so hopefully I'll make some progress on that today, maybe. I don't know where I am on Air of Fire, but I have listened to like another 2 hours, I think, today. So that's pretty good. According to my Audible, I have 4 hours left. That's on 3 times speed. It's actually not my favourite so far. Like, I'm not enjoying it as much as I was enjoying the first 3. There's a new perspective in there that I really don't like. I don't know if I told you already, but I'm not caring about it. Except something did just happen where now I'm like, oh, okay, I'm a little bit more invested. But I haven't been up to this point, and I'm at least 200 pages in. At least. So I'm not a fan, and I'm not even enjoying the fact that like all the characters are split up at the moment. I don't want to say anything, but they're all split up at the moment, so like I'm not enjoying the different perspectives being so segregated. It's kind of annoying, but I'm still liking it. Like, it's not like a bad book still. It's like maybe at the moment at a 3 instead of a 4, like most of the books have been for me, so I'm kind of disappointed, and it's kind of making it hard to get through as fast. Also, yesterday I went on a little shopping spree, so I thought I would show you what I got. No, was it yesterday? No, it was on Tuesday. It was in the Works 3 for £5 deal, so I got 3 for £5. First up, I picked up Moxie. This is by Jennifer Matthew. I picked this up because everybody's been talking about the movie recently and I don't want to watch the movie, so I thought I'd read the book instead. I don't know. I heard pretty bad things about the movie from Jamie, from Jamie's library. She said that this is like a feminist book and it's about being a feminist. And she said that the film was completely unrepresentative of being a feminist and she thought it was quite offensive. I've never read the book, never watched the movie. I cannot give an opinion on that. I do not know. But as that was her opinion and as the only opinion I have seen on that movie, I thought I'd pick up the book instead. So I picked that up. I picked up Queenie Malone's Paradise Hotel by Ruth Hogan. I've heard a lot about her other book, The Keeper of Lost Things. So I thought I would try out her writing style. And the third one is a dystopian, which I love. And that is Wall by Hugh Howey. The only reason I picked this up is because it says the next Hunger Games on it. And I'm easy to please. Next Hunger Games, you've got it. I'm down. I love a dystopian, and more than that, I love like a 2013 dystopian. I don't know. Maze Runner is basically one of my favourite series of anything in terms of film. I'm easy to please, so if it's anything like that, I'm sure I'll be happy. But I'm not really sure how I feel about it being this chunky. It is the first in a series, and I just don't know if it needs to be this big. And I'm not sure if I'll pick it up because it is this big. Like, I've got enough books on my TBR. Like, did I need to do this? No. No, I did not. But I did. I have never heard of this book before in my life, so if anybody has, or this author, if you've read a book from them, or you've read this book, can you let me know what you thought? And whether I should be picking it up sooner rather than later, or just maybe just not picking it up at all? Let me know. I would really be interested. So that is my update. I'm actually surrounded by books right now because I just filmed a haul, and I mean like, surrounded by books. You know, look at that, wild. Oh God, no, I'm never gonna get you back to where you were. Oh well. But it is my day off, so I think I'm going to put all these back and then chillax with a bit of YouTube. I've, as I said, read some Heir of Fire. It's getting late now and Liam's in work till midnight, so I can't go pick him up until midnight. And clearly I'm already tired. So I need to relax today so that I'm not too tired tomorrow after my late night and having to work. Hopefully I'll do some reading and I'll have something to update you on soon. Hello, so I hope you don't mind me doing this update while I'm doing my makeup, but I wanted to like end off the vlog and update you on what I have read since I last updated you. It's been a couple of days. I haven't read a lot. I made a tiny bit of progress on The Wicked King, like a couple of chapters, and I haven't read any more of Castaway. I've never realised how ridiculous I look when I'm putting on my makeup. But I did read, oh, the window's open. Can you live with the background noise? You can live with the background noise, right? But I did finish Bunny, and if I'm honest, I gave it 1 star. It just wasn't it. Like, it really wasn't it. I can see why some people love it, especially those of you who like peculiar and weird books. I usually do, but this was like too weird. So by the end, I just had no idea. I know it was going to be an open ending, but like, I just didn't understand the whole book, not just the ending, like the whole thing. I was like, what happened here? What's going on? I don't quite get it. I feel like I was on a bunch of drugs trying to read it. Like, I just didn't understand what was going on at all. I still don't understand. I didn't like our protagonist. I don't think you were supposed to, but she was definitely like a I'm not like other girls kind of girl, but in a weird way. Even more weird than normal pick-me girls. So that wasn't ideal. I read Heartstopper Volume 4. I can't be bothered to go get it, but I read that and it was so good. As always, it was my favourite installment for sure. Focus more on Charlie's mental health. So lots of trigger warnings for like eating disorders and self-harm and stuff, which was a little difficult to read, very upsetting. But there was a lot of cute moments as well. And I think it was the volume with the most depth to it and therefore more enjoyment value. I really like that they're easy to read, but sometimes you do just want more from it, you know, and I really feel like we got that in this volume. However, at the end, on the author's note, it says that volume 5 is going to be the last volume. I'm heartbroken. Absolutely heartbroken. I wanted like 20 volumes. I wanted to grow old with Nick and Charlie. I just don't know why Alice Oseman would do this to us. I really don't, and I'm hurt by the matter. Now I need to like seriously make some progress on Castaways because I'm so far behind that book. It's not what I'm expecting. Like when I got it, I thought it was a survival story. I didn't realize it was like a sister looking like a detective story, but not a real detective. I don't know what I'm saying, but you know what I mean. So it's like hard to pick up because it's not what I wanted or what I expected, which is a shame, but I do want to finish it. I do want to read it. So I'll keep going, keep trying, but I do want to finish The Wicked King pretty soon. I think I'm just going to cut the vlog off here because I'm awful at updating vlogs. If I let it go on any longer, we'll just never end, you know, it'll just be a permanent vlog. I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.